and welcome to a new episode of our podcast, das Seriensprechzimmer, the TV talking room. Let's talk about Riley from The Last of Us. Riley is a key figure in Ellie's childhood. In the first episode, her name got dropped in a conversation with Marlene, but it's only in episode 7 that we finally find out who Riley is. And she is most likely Ellie's closest friend, someone our main protagonist trusts, and could have been a potential love interest. But they disagree in one thing. Whereas Riley got involved with the activists known as the Fireflies, Ellie did not. We had the opportunity to participate in a roundtable talk with Storm Reid, who brings Riley to life on the little screen. You might recognize her from Euphoria, Missing, or A Wrinkle in Time. As always, to keep the privacy of the others in the room, I will voice over the questions with my voice. Enjoy our talk with Storm Reid on The Last of Us. Can you tell us a little bit about the casting process? When did you know you got the part and how did you respond? Anything like that?
Yeah, so they sent me the script and I read it and I was super intrigued and thought it was beautifully written. I was a little confused because I didn't know what was going on. Like I didn't play the video game, so I was a little confused as to what was going on in the script. But then I had a call with Craig and the team, and they expressed their passion and their vision for the show and my episode specifically, and I could tell that I was in good hands. And after that conversation, I had a feeling that this was gonna work out, but you never want to make assumptions or assume anything. But shortly after, I found out that I was a part of The Last of Us, and I was so excited. And being on set was absolutely incredible, and they made me feel so like seen and welcomed and supported. And I think that's beautiful coming into yeah, no, it was a fun casting process, and it was even more fun to film.
Next, we're going to Melanie in Germany.
Hello, so good to meet you. I actually find it fascinating how the show depicts human behavior in time of crisis. So if you were in an apocalyptic scenario, which qualities would you hope to possess?
Oh, I would be scared. I don't think I would be able to get past fear. So if I could, hopefully I would be able to, survive. I think the only characteristic or character trait that I would want to have in that scenario is survival skills.
How was it to work with Bella on The Last of Us?
Yeah, I mean, I loved working with Bella. She's so brilliant. She's a brilliant talent, but also just an amazing person. So just to be able to share the screen with her was incredible, and forge a bond, which I feel like informed Ellie and Riley's bond on screen. So being able to work with Bella was a dream come true, and I'm so proud of the work that we did together.
In your opinion, why is it important to portray gay relationships even in stories that are not romance-driven?
Yeah, I mean, I think representation is important in any aspect. I always say, how do you feel as though you can succeed if you don't see yourself? So to be able to not only represent women, but represent women of color and Black women, and furthermore, to represent young Black queer women is a responsibility and a privilege and an honor. And when you're put in positions to be able to empower audiences and impact audiences, I think that's just really beautiful, and something that I don't take for granted. So I'm glad that I was able to represent Riley.
How was it for you to create your character arc in only one single episode, but still creating the density that goes with it?
Like you said, it was only in this episode, but I had a lot of time to figure out who Riley was. We shot for about a month, so every day you find something new, and you try different things on set, and you try different things on different scenes, and that's really how a character is formed and born. And I just really just try to step into my character's shoes, no matter what character that is, and not judge them, meet them where they're at, and experience their given circumstance, and try to be them the best as my ability, but also not neglect how I'm feeling. So that's what I tried to do with Riley.
What is your favorite thing about Riley?
Ooh, I think Riley's optimism is very inspiring. She's optimistic about a lot and she knows the world that she's living in, but that doesn't stop her from having fun, from taking up space, from, continuing to put one foot in front of the other. So I love that for her, and I think that is an inspiring quality to have.
How did playing Riley personally challenge you in your acting career?
I don't think it was a challenge at all. I loved playing Riley. I think she's so complex and so nuanced and so fun. So to be able to portray her and depict her, I had a really, really, really good time. I don't think I had any challenges at all.
So, the mall was pretty awesome. It's such a beautiful set. Was it a set or was it an actual mall? And can you tell me what it was like with all these wonders? And also, how often you played the Mortal Kombat game?
Yeah. It was an actual mall. It was an actual abandoned mall, so that worked out for them. And of course, they made it look very post-apocalyptic because it didn't look like that. It was just an abandoned mall. So the people that made the set look the way it did an incredible job. And the Seven Wonders was really fun. The escalator scene was really fun. I think just being in that mall, I think it's pays homage to the adolescence and the innocence that Ellie and Riley still, experience or still have a little bit. So I'm glad that that was the place that we spent most of the time, because I feel like that's where you get to see a lot of the emotions of, happy, sad, confused, upset. Like we get to see it all there. So that was really cool. And then Mortal Kombat. I've played Mortal Kombat before on a PlayStation. But that was my first time playing Mortal Kombat on an arcade game. But it was so fun, and we improv that scene. We were like, just having the best time. The game actually worked, so we were just, having a blast.
Thanks. Back to Melanie.
So in episode 7, I was wondering, how do you view the parallels between Riley and Ellie's story and Joel's and Ellie's story?
Yeah, I mean, I think Joel and Ellie's story is so beautiful because they start off where like they don't want to be bothered with one another. They want to go in separate ways, but they're forced to, stay together, stick together, and they end up finding care for each other, having apathy for each other, and creating a bond that is like, maybe not father daughter, but definitely uncle niece is how I like to look at it. So even though Ellie and Riley's relationship is different, where they're best friends and they're kind of straddling the fence of being friends and being a little bit more than friends, we just get to always see that love that they experience, and that is like, developed, and it grows and it changes and it feels different. And I think that is the case with all of the characters in this television show.
You also spoke a little bit about it, but I want to know how Riley is important to the development of the Last of Us story, specifically for the development of Ellie.
Riley, I think, is essential to Ellie, and us really seeing Ellie's backstory and meeting her before she gets to where we have already seen her. I think that's really important. So I think Ellie and Riley are a part of each other's worlds, and we see that, and we see that perspective, and we see that relationship, and I think that's really important because, like I said, we've seen it with the other characters in the other episodes. So to finally be able to see a younger perspective from the two of them is really cool.
Do you think finding love, even in the middle of an apocalypse, is the main theme of the show?
Love is everywhere in this show, and not like love is everywhere, and it's just people choose to actively love or not to love. And I think even though it's seems like nobody would want to be bothered with love in a post-apocalyptic world, I think it's fitting because you never know when your last day is gonna be the last day. So to be able to experience the last of us, no pun intended, or like the last of your final days with people that you care about and you love, I think is important, and is like I said, at the core of The Last of Us is love, and in trying to figure out complicated, nuanced relationships. So I'm glad that love is one of the main themes of this show.
How did you prepare for this character?
There wasn't much preparation that I had to do. I think it's when I get on set and I know I'm about to portray a character, it's really about stepping in their shoes and becoming them, but also not neglecting how I would feel in that situation. So it's an intersection of my feelings and my character's feelings. And then, we had stunt rehearsals and lots of rehearsals for just, the big scenes that we had. But other than the normal preparation, I didn't have to prepare a lot.
I also love you in Euphoria. Can you tell us how Riley is different from the role you played in Euphoria?
Yeah, I think, Riley and Gia are similar in the ways in which they internalize their emotions a little bit, and the way they portray feelings. And they're both young people trying to figure it out. They just have, of course, two totally different circumstances, but at the end of the day, they're young people trying to figure it out. And I love both characters a lot. They are experiencing two different ends of the world and spectrums of emotions, but like I said, they're both experiencing things. They're going through life. They're trying to figure out how to be the best version of themselves with the things that they are presented with and that they go through.
To round it up, any fun anecdotes with Bella or any other on-set cast members?
Yeah, I think me and Bella, we had such a fun time, and we are young people too, so we're not perfect. We're a little messy, and we don't get things right. So there would be a few nights where it would be night shoots and we're delirious at that point and we'd get our lines wrong. Or there was one take where I was supposed to be saying Ellie and I said mom. She was like, did you just call me mom? So there's just different little instances like that where we had so much fun, but every day was a blast and we were always laughing and always cracking jokes.
Great. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for your questions and for joining today.
Thanks, everybody.